Inside Gaming is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Your data is your business. Protect it at expressvpn.com/inside.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Tuesday. It's about time Tuesday. Because Nintendo is finally uttering mea culpa for something people have been complaining about for years. Joy-Con drift. About time. Yeah, it's about time. Let's get into the story.
Yeah, the Switch has been a massive success since it released 3 years ago, but it also has a big old Achilles heel. It's Joy-Cons. So I guess that's actually two Achilles heels. In classic Greek antiquity, is it assumed that the Achilles heel is applied to both of his heels?
He was dipped in the river Styx. And I think it's pronounced Antigone.
Not antiquity.
Just a little joke for you
classic sequel.
Majors.
I had to repeat Latin in high school.
Muy bien.
As long as the Switch has been around, there have been reports of drifting Joy-Cons, meaning that they'll sometimes register an input on the control sticks, even if you're not pushing it. It's about the motion, right? Not the actual stick, not the buttons.
Yeah, it's something to do with the hardware. It's been the subject of an ongoing lawsuit, and finally, Nintendo has apologized for the issue. It happened at a recent shareholders conference where top Nintendo execs were asked about the Joy-Cons and what they're doing to improve things.
Top Nintendo execs. It's Indiana Jones, remember?
President Shuntaro Furukawa responded with a clear mea culpa, saying, "Regarding the Joy-Con, we apologize for any trouble caused to our customers," but he didn't elaborate further, citing an ongoing lawsuit against Nintendo. Furukawa added, "We are continuing to aim to improve our products, but as the Joy-Con is the subject of a class action lawsuit in the United States, and this is still a pending issue, we would like to refrain from responding about any specific actions."
The apology has a sort of, sorry, your feelings got hurt by what I said vibe.
It's also got a massive, if we say anything further, we'll be indicting ourselves, so...
Yeah. Is it me or Connor?
It's you, Patrick. It's always been you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that lawsuit was filed last year in Seattle, and it claimed that Nintendo was fully aware of the issue. The plaintiff, Ryan Diaz, said he sent a Joy-Con to Nintendo to be repaired, but noticed that it was drifting again just a few months after getting it back. Ryan, I'm sorry.
Man.
The struggles of Mr. Diaz.
Sorry. I'm sorry. The suit said that his experiences are by no means isolated, adding that the internet is replete with examples of message boards and other websites where consumers have complained of the exact same Joy-Con defect.
And since it's a class action lawsuit, that means that others who experience the same problem can join in. Probably not coincidentally, after that suit was filed, though, Nintendo stopped charging people to repair Joy-Cons. So... You do the math.
Yeah. The lawsuit was also amended to include the Switch Lite, and in March, a U.S. district judge denied Nintendo's move to dismiss the suit. They sent the case to an arbitrator.
While this is the first time that Nintendo has apologized for the issue, they have addressed it before. Back in 2019, they gave a statement to Kotaku about the issue, saying, "At Nintendo, we take great pride in creating quality products, and we are continuously making improvements to them. We are aware of recent reports that some Joy-Con controllers are not responding correctly."
Yeah, well, they then directed Nintendo users to Nintendo's support site if they needed help, and of course that's been an issue lately with ongoing coronavirus pandemic woes, which has closed a lot of unauthorized repair shops, meaning there's really no way to get your Joy-Cons repaired right now in the time that those are needed. Maybe most.
Well,
That's
I've had
okay.
a long day of quarantining and delivering food. I can't wait to sit down and play Animal Crossing New. And it's just drifting all over the place, and then they go out and cough on someone.
Someone in another country doesn't have to go to work to fix my Joy-Con? F*** you.
Yeah, lots of frustrated people have resorted to trying to fix their own Switches. There's even a step-by-step repair guide on the site iFixit that walks you through fixing your Joy-Cons.
Or, if you feel like giving us money, you can go watch Caden's video about how to do it.
You can just send your Switch to Caden.
Yeah, send it all to Caden.
So we here at Inside Gaming have noticed the drifting issue too. Brian has had it happen on 2 different sets of Joy-Cons.
That sucks. Have you guys gotten drift at all?
I got a little bit on one, but it's never been bad enough to do anything about it. But I also hate the Pro Controller, and I like the Joy-Cons and using the Joy-Con grip, which I know is...
Psychopath.
I know. It's
madness.
My ones that came with the Switch, the left one just died. No drift necessary. Just completely died. I was out in the middle of the ocean on a cruise ship, stranded with just mediocre magic shows. And then I got a replacement pair, and literally 3 months later, the left one was drifting like crazy.
It's definitely been the biggest problem for what otherwise has been a very successful console for Nintendo. Of course, other consoles have had their issues in the past. Most infamously, there was the Red Ring of Death that was the scourge of Xbox 360 owners.
Death, scourge.
Yeah, according to a Game Informer survey, the Red Ring of Death affected more than half of all 360s, and the hardware issue ended up costing Microsoft over $1 billion.
Holy f***.
That's insane. I was lucky. I never had a Red Ring.
Never had a 360. But that's not to say my PS3 didn't have its issues, as it had the yellow light of death. But that failure rate was much, much lower.
Did you get a yellow light of death, Patrick?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
But back to Nintendo. Hopefully this lawsuit over the Joy-Cons has spurred them to fix the drifting issue.
Yeah, they've got a console that people clearly want. It's now sold more than 57 million units worldwide, and they're having trouble keeping it in stock. So while we're on the subject of Nintendo saying, I'm sorry, they also apologized at its shareholders meeting for the recent shortage of Switches. I mean, you know, when it rains, it pours.
Also,
as long as we got them on the chopping block, we might as well squeeze it all out of them.
Sort of understandable.
They were in the doghouse.
Furukawa said they've been having supply issues since the release of Animal Crossing New Horizons in March, just as lots of countries were quarantining because of the pandemic.
That obviously affected production, but Furukawa said that it's now ramping up again. He added that business operations should stabilize throughout the summer. As for upcoming games, Nintendo senior executive Shinya Takahashi said they do not expect software delays, but that could change if there is a second wave of the coronavirus.
Or in the case of the US, we just extend the first wave as long as possible.
As it is, though, Nintendo's first-party slate is looking pretty bare for the rest of the year. Animal Crossing was a huge hit, but the only other first-party game on their schedule for the rest of 2020 is Paper Mario: The Origami King, which is due out July 17th. I mean, that's coming up quick, so that's going to be a solid back end of the year with nothing first-party coming from Nintendo.
Yeah, do they not have like a big holiday release at all? I guess they don't.
Maybe they'll do some Smash Directs and stuff, but...
Yeah.
Finally, we get Santa Claus in Smash Bros.
Oh, fingers crossed. They've got other stuff in the works, like the sequel to Breath of the Wild and Metroid Prime 4, but we don't have release dates for those, and their development has undoubtedly been slowed by the coronavirus. Those are also probably like just way out there anyway.
Well, Metroid Prime 4, they didn't like what the other studio had done with it, whoever was making it, and they were like, we're gonna do it all again.
Yeah,
like
they started
all of
from
it.
Scratch.
Yeah, they completely scrapped everything. So while things are good at Nintendo, when it comes to Switch sales, there are definitely some warning clouds on the horizon.
Sailor's Delight.
Red sky at night, what does that mean?
Anyway, Nintendo might be changing the way they announce new games in the future.
The president addressed the future of Nintendo Directs, which are its special presentations that it uses to communicate with fans. For the uninitiated, they've been doing these Directs since 2013, but lately they've been pretty sparse. We actually didn't even get one in the month of June, which is a change because they normally would have had a big one right around now for E3. So,
in fact, Nintendo hasn't had a full Direct broadcast since last September. Furukawa told shareholders that they're still committed to doing them, but he said that they might change in the future. According to a translation, he said, "Times change, and so does the most effective way to promote products. So there is a chance that a new, better way to present this information comes about, so we always like to examine all of the possible ways to communicate this information to customers." Quibi?
Do you imagine that full quote was just times change, done, period. Furukawa comes out dressed as Bob Dylan, and it's just like with that little harmonica around his neck.
Nintendo's happy to announce Animal Crossing through skywriting.
Yeah, what other way would they use?
I think it's because everybody else is doing directs now. They're like, all right, now we gotta get up and do something new and different. One more thing to note in the shareholders meeting, they also addressed the Super Nintendo World theme park in Japan, which is a partnership between Nintendo and Universal Studios. They said, it's really fun, and the executive said they've been having a great time riding the Ferris wheel.
If you've never been annoyed by somebody whose entire life is taken over by an obsession with Disneyland, just wait until you see these Nintendo Universal heads recreating Nintendo Universal rides.
The Disney people will still be worse.
Yeah, so the Nintendo Universal Park Super Nintendo World was originally supposed to open in July, but now that opening's been delayed due to the pandemic. Fear, obviously, is that a bunch of fans cramming into the park could lead to further spread of COVID-19.
Oh, that's the fear?
Does that really need to be...
I thought it'd be Koopa Troopas.
Or maybe hammers raining from the sky, which they did have to nix pretty early on in the ideation process. Well, they could delay it in Japan or just move it to Florida now.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Get it on a ship.
Just kind of say like, well, what happens, happens.
Let that
it's
be the
your
dangling-
responsibility. In a shareholders call, Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto said that the development of the park is progressing smoothly and that Universal Studios Japan will decide on how best to open the park in consideration of patron safety, and that's where the script ends.
And how many minutes are we at?
And there is no ending written. Okay?
Well, hold on. Let's just hopefully there's no roller coaster drift.
There we go. You know what I'm worried about is I get in the bumper cars and I Tokyo drift.
Oh, that's good. My concern is that they accidentally let me take my Toyota Corolla just on the bumper cars and I accidentally hit some too hard because I can't be trusted. No, there's no joke. It's just you shouldn't have a real car on a bumper thing. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Monday. Let's get a good clap to memorialize. It's no secret that a lot of things are closed down during this pandemic. You may have noticed. Offices, bars, restaurants, and repair centers